In this video, I'm going to show you how I live stream, the software that I use, the hardware that I use, and the settings coming up next. How's it going? My name's Brian. Welcome to the channel. Our channel is all about electric brewing, but today we're going to switch it up a little bit and do a tutorial on how to use OBS software. So if you're normally coming here for beer related stuff, I apologize, but bear with us and we're going to show you how we live stream on our live brew days. So let's get started. Okay, so one of the things that I find with OBS tutorials that I've watched is they don't address one key factor, and that is that you need to know what your bandwidth is before you even start streaming. So what I want to do is we want to go into our web browser and we're going to type in speedtest.net, and that is going to actually take us to a speed test website which will actually test your bandwidth. And your bandwidth is the ability to upload and download at certain speeds. So we'll go ahead and click go. That'll show us what our download speed is first, and then we'll get our upload speed after that. And that's probably our most important thing, is the upload speed, because that will tell you how much data you can stream to YouTube on any given point during your live broadcast. So my system is showing that we're hovering right around 5, maybe 6 megabits per second, and that's not too bad. It's not premium, obviously, but that'll work for what we're going to do as far as streaming goes. So we've got that information, and we'll leave this screen open because we need to come back to it here in just a little bit. So jumping into the equipment that I actually use the Logitech C920. It is a HD webcam, and it will put out 1080p video and pretty good quality, not too shabby at all for the price. I got mine a little bit cheaper than that on sale. You can scrounge around and see what you can find as far as sales and deals. Maybe find a used one on eBay or something like that. You might be able to get a better deal than that, but that's overall not too bad for doing live streaming. Another optional, and this is optional, another thing that I use when I do a live stream is I use my Zoom H5 recorder, and it has a microphone array on it, and I just put it on a tripod and use that for my audio. Oh, one other thing about the Logitech camera too that I forgot to add was that it does have a tripod mount on the bottom, a 1/4-20 screw, and not a screw, but a 1/4-20 nut in the bottom of it. So you can mount that to a tripod and set it wherever you want during your live broadcast and go from there. So now let's take a look at what YouTube recommends to be the live encoder settings. And this is going to matter for our OBS settings. So I generally like to stream in a 1080p format, which is pretty much highest resolution that I can put out with the camera. And if you'll notice, the video bit range on that is 3,000 to 6,000 kilobits per second. So that's our range for doing a 1080p video. If you have a slower computer or a less powerful camera that you're going to use, you want to take a look at probably the 1280 by 720 or 720p resolution, and that video bit range is between 1500 and 4000 kilobits per second. So if we hop back over to the speed test, we're going to see that I'm pushing 6.15 megabits per second, which basically converts to the kilobits per second on there. So I mean, it's, that 4000 kilobits is 4 megabits per second basically, so just a different measurement. So now jumping over into YouTube, when you jump into YouTube, what you'll do is you'll come up here and you'll click on your icon, and you will go into the Creator Studio. And once you get in there, your primary concern is going to be with the live streaming tab right here. You'll click that, and that will open up your live streaming dashboard, if you will. Now, if you want to just stream directly, immediately, you can use this format. One of the other things that I will cover in this tutorial is the Events tab, and that will allow you to actually schedule an event, and any of your subscribers will receive a notification saying that you're going to be streaming on a certain day, and they'll actually be able to click on that link and come to your streaming page and wait for your stream to start, which is kind of cool. So, but let's take a look at the Stream Now tab, and the only thing we're concerned with on this is a couple of things if you're going to use it this way. If you're going to use OBS software, you'll want to use it and not do a custom stream, or you want to do a custom stream and not just the Hangouts. The Hangout is a pretty simple way to do it, but it doesn't give you as many features or options as the OBS software does. So the main thing that we're concerned with here is a couple of things actually. In the basic info, we want to take a look down here, and we're going to pull the encoder, for the encoder setup, we want to copy this server URL, and we'll go ahead and copy that right now. And we're going to actually come back to this page here in just a second, but I want to go ahead and open up OBS. And incidentally, you can download OBS software from obsproject.com. This tutorial is on the 19.0.3 release. Click the download button, and it's pretty straightforward. I mean, about everybody knows how to install a program. There's nothing real special about it. So do that, and then once you get done, once you do that, let's go ahead and fire it up. And I will show you. You're going to agree to the license. And a point to note also, this is a open source software. So if you do like using it, please consider contributing to the developers of it. You know, it's one of those things where they make their money, or they don't even make money off of it, really, probably as much time as they put into it. But certainly support your open software, folks. When you start it up, you're going to see this auto configuration wizard. Just go ahead and cancel out of that. Bump it up to full screen. Now, when you start out, this is going to actually be in a regular mode, which is the older version or older style of OBS. We want to go to the studio mode, and I'll show you why here in just a second. But let's go ahead and hop into the studio mode, and this is going to give you two different panels. This is basically going to be the what's going to broadcast panel, and this is going to be the what's is broadcasting panel. So just bear that in mind. So let's hop down here, and we're going to go into settings. And we're going to click on settings. And the main screen here, there's really not a lot to worry about with the main screen. One of the things that you'll want to click on when you open it up is going to be the stream. And we're going to go to streaming services up here. And we are actually going to choose the custom streaming server. And what we're going to do is paste in the URL or the web server location from the previous page on your YouTube channel. So we're going to paste that in, and that is the address for the YouTube live server. So once we've done that, we're going to hop back over to the YouTube channel page, and we are going to go back down here, and this is the unique or key or stream name key for your channel, and you don't want to share this with anybody because of the fact that it will definitely allow them to broadcast to your channel without your authorization. So you definitely don't want to share that with anybody, because they would be able to stream to your channel and put whatever they want up there, whether you liked it or not. So we're going to go back into the OBS software, and we're going to put the stream key right in here. Now what this is going to do is it's going to tell OBS where to send your live stream to. So that's very important. And it changes from a simple live stream to an event stream. So there is some changes, and we'll show you about that here in just a minute. So the output, based on our settings that we saw in the live encoder settings, the 1080p or the 720p, I broadcast in 1080p. So we're gonna put my target bit rate right in the middle of there. I usually like to go about 5,000. I do like to click on the advanced tab, and there's one more setting that I do like to customize. And that is, let's fix this. It went drop back to 2,500. So let's do that at 5,000. And then I like to do a keyframe every 2 seconds. That makes YouTube happy. If you don't broadcast your keyframes every so often, it will not see your stream properly, and you could have some issues. So I bumped the bitrate up to 5,000, keyframe interval to 2, click apply. As far as audio, we're going to go ahead and leave that there. We're going to take a look at the auxiliary audio, the mic auxiliary audio device. If you do have a laptop, you could certainly use the microphone that's built into that. I do have a headset with a microphone on it right now, so we're going to go ahead and drop that down, and we'll select the headset that I have. If you don't see that, when we add the camera in, there'll be an option for the camera as well. So you can just use the audio directly out of the camera, but just understand that it is a little bit less clarity. And if you move far away from the webcam, you certainly will have some issues with people being able to hear you. So in the video portion of it, if you have a monitor that does 1920 by 1080, you're going to see that's your canvas, which is your desktop resolution. And I usually run the same output as I do on the desktop. So it's going to be a 1920 by 1080. You can leave all the other settings alone, and you are good on all that. Let's check the stream, make sure everything else is good. Everything looks good. All that looks good. Video. Okay. So we are now back to the OBS software in the studio mode. And we are going to add a source. And the first source, I like to look at this as like a cake. So the first source we're going to add to it is going to be the video itself. So what we'll do is we'll go in here to video capture device, and I'm going to rename this Logitech because that is the name of my video camera. And we'll click OK. And then boom, there we are on screen. One of the things you'll want to do, and it's based off of what your camera is capable of, is you will want to go to a custom resolution. And I like to do 1920 by 1080 because that is what I'm going to be putting out. And as far as the FPS go, that's frames per second. Do that with 30. And then as far as the audio goes, you can leave that and capture the audio from the actual camera itself, or you can use a custom audio device, which is what I'm going to do here since I've got this headset on, and it automatically defaulted to that. So click OK. And now you'll notice, like I said earlier, this part of the screen is what is going to broadcast, and this is what is broadcasting. So in order to get what's on this screen over to that screen, you're going to do what's called a transition. So I'll click the transition, and we'll see that this screen is now showing this is what would be broadcasting. So if I hit start streaming, it would connect with YouTube and it would start streaming immediately. But we're going to do a little bit more setup before we get into that. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to actually show the chat on the screen, because with a live video, after the video session is over, the chat goes away. It's never to be found again. So one of the ways that we can actually bring that to the video so that people that watch it in a replay of it can see what everybody was saying, so that whoever's on camera responding to some chat knows what was going on. Because if you don't do that, people are kind of wondering, okay, what did somebody ask? So it's always nice to have that chat screen on the screen with you while you're doing your live broadcast. That way everybody can not only see what they're saying, but they can also, in a replay, see what someone else is saying. So in order to do that, we're going to go back over to our live dashboard. And what we want to do is we want to pop out the live chat. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to actually go over here in the dashboard, and we're going to go to the live chat. We're going to click on the three little dots, and we're going to go pop out chat. Now what that's going to do is that's actually going to pop the chat out into a window that you could actually move around anywhere on your screen. And we're going to copy this code right here, which is basically the URL for that chat. And then we can actually close that window back down, because once we have the URL, it doesn't change during the live stream. So what we'll do is we'll go back to OBS, and we are going to click on the little plus button down here. And that is how you add sources to your live broadcast. So we're going to click on that. And then we are going to click on browser source, because we want to display that browser window in our video. So we're going to call this chat, and I'm going to click OK. Now we're going to go to the URL box, and we're going to paste in what we just copied from that pop-out chat window. Now I like to change the width on the chat window to about 400. That's a pretty comfortable size. And then you can actually make it 1080, which is the full height of the video. And we'll take a look here real quick. It looks like everything else is good. And then we'll click OK. And then you'll see, lo and behold, there's our chat window. So if you take a look, you can see that there's the live chat window, and it's showing up. Everything looks pretty good. The only thing I might do is I might change the width of it just a little bit, and you can actually do that. If you grab these little circles here, you can actually move this out a little bit, and it will zoom it in just a little bit. It's going to drop down below your main screen here, but that's not too much of an issue because the chats generally come from the top and scroll down. So, they'll disappear, but that's not too big of an issue. You're still going to see the main chat that's going on. So now we want to have that show up in our broadcast window. So we're going to click transition, and that's going to bring our live chat window over into our broadcast. And then we want to, sometimes I'll add like a banner across the bottom, because you may want to scroll something, what you're brewing, or, hey, subscribe, or, give us a thumbs up or whatever. So what you want to do is you want to go back down here to the bottom, and we're going to add another source. And this time we're going to add an image. And the nice thing about OBS software is that it does recognize transparency. So if you've ever created your logo for YouTube and it tells you about a transparency, if you have a round logo like mine, it's actually a square image, and then it has a transparency to it so that it shows up that way. So I have actually created some banners, or I'm gonna call it a lower banner, and we'll go ahead and click OK. and then it's going to ask us to browse for an image file. So I'm going to browse to the desktop, and I'm going to click on my lower banners folder, and I will actually have links to all of these in the video description so that you guys can download them and use them. I'm doing a tutorial, so I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of stuff so you don't have to mess with that portion of it. I make them in Photoshop. There's a lot of other programs you can make them in, but so I'm going to go ahead and choose the blue one because that is the color that my shirt is right now, and it kind of matches my logo. Well, it doesn't match my logo, but we'll just say it matches my shirt. So click OK, and as you can see, the banner has popped in. It's actually sized to be 1920 by 1080, and it popped right in. Looks perfect. So we're going to go ahead and hit transition, and it will transition over to the what is streaming box, if you will, or the broadcast stream. And so we want to add some text to that. So again, we're going to go back down here to the bottom, and we're going to click add. And this time we're going to click text GDI plus. So what that is, basically, it's going to be a text component that will allow us to put some text in there. So I'm going to call this scroll, which would match what we're going to do across the bottom. And we're going to click OK. And for the font, you can select, I usually like Arial Bold because it's pretty bold and you can read it on the screen. Sometimes the YouTube stream is a little bit fuzzy, and so the thicker the letters are, the better off you are. So we're going to go ahead and put in here, we're going to put give us a thumbs up, hit the like button. I guess they're one and the same, really, but we'll go ahead and put it in there anyways. And let's see. Don't forget to subscribe. All right, so I like to put a couple spaces after that, and you'll see why in just a minute, because if you don't, it's going to just continues to scroll right after. And then you can actually copy this and Control-C, Control-V, and paste it, and that way you're going to have a continuous stream that's going to be coming through. So we'll click that, just click anywhere in the middle of that and drag it down into here. And then one of the things we can do is we can actually click on the round circles there and size it up so that it pretty much fills in that entire, and then you can fine tune this with your arrow keys on your keyboard. So as you can see, as I click the arrow key, it moves it up. Now, that's great and everything, but what do we do if we want it to scroll? So now we're gonna add a filter to this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna right click on the scroll, and we are going to click filter. And the first filter that we're going to want to add to this, or really the only one that I generally add, is going to be scroll. So we'll click scroll, and we're just going to leave it, the name of it is scroll, because that's what we want it to do. And what we'll do is we'll actually increase the horizontal speed because we don't want it to scroll vertically, we want it to scroll horizontally. So grab the slider here and move it a little bit to the right. And as you see me move it, you can move it all the way over and scroll until people can't read it. But I generally like to have a nice, smooth, even scroll. Click the close button, and voila, you've got a scroll. So that does that. And so we'll transition that over to the live stream. And as you can see, everything is showing up correctly. So you've got all this done, and you're just about ready to go. But hey, you know what? I want to put my logo in the stream too, so people can see it during the video, and then also they'll see it in the replay. So again, we're going to go back down to the sources. We're going to hit plus, and this time we're going to add another image. And as you can see, I'm kind of doing this as a cake. Like I said, I'm building the layers. The camera's on the bottom, then the chat window, then the lower banner's over that, and it kind of covers the bottom of the chat. Then the scroll is over top of that, and then now we're going to do this logo, and I'm going to call that logo. And I think it's important to name these in your sources box here so that you know exactly what's going on, and you can tell what sources are on and what the name of them are, and then you can actually reorder them in there if you want to hide something behind another or whatever. There's a lot of different things you can do with this software. That's pretty cool. So click OK, and then I'm going to browse back out to my desktop, and I am going to click on my logo, and I'm going to open that up, and man, it is huge. So again, we're going to grab the little circles here, and those are up in the corner of the image, and you're going to just drag and resize it. And as you drag and resize it, you can click in the middle of the image anywhere and then drag it back down. So we're going to drag it down to a manageable size, something that's not going to be too huge and take up too much real estate. So we'll put it up in the corner, and it does snap into place. And now we've got everything there ready to go. So now what do we do? So we'll go back to our YouTube page on our live dashboard. I've got in here that I'm filming an OBS tutorial. and everything looks pretty good. Now, what this particular page will do is it will allow you, it'll accept whatever stream you send to it. So if you send a stream and it's at 720 or 1080p or whatever, it doesn't care. It's just going to try to take whatever you give it and send it there. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and go back to our OBS software, and we are going to click on the Start Streaming button, and that's over here, down over here in the corner. And what will happen is it will actually start streaming immediately. As soon as I hit that button, it's going to start streaming. And we'll go back to our YouTube page, and we will see that here in just a second, it will show us that the stream is going. So now, one of the ways you can take a look at what's going on is you can go into, there it is, it says you are live, and there is our screen. So now we're live, and one of the things that I definitely suggest is that you mute that. So you mute that, because if you don't, it's going to give us a crazy amount of feedback. All right, so now if you have some loyal followers or subscribers, they will definitely help you test this out. So as you can see, everything looks exactly like it does over on the other side. And we'll hop back over here to the OBS. And the one thing that's missing from that live stream, as you can see, and I did this on purpose, is the logo. So let's say you want to transition a logo in, or you want to take in some other component or a picture or something of a different, something that's going on, if you want to do a slideshow or whatever. So I'm going to transition that over. And then if we hop back over here, we will actually see that it will transition in here in just a second, because there is a little bit of a lag. So it will transition in, and you'll see what's happening there. And it will, yep, see, here we go. We've got somebody that's going to help us on the OBS tutorial. So one Wenger, you are in the tutorial. So I'm not hanging around for very long, but I'm just showing a tutorial of how to do the OBS Studio software. So I appreciate you popping in and saying hello. And there's Hillbilly Brewery. Hey, cheers, man. I am trying to finish up this tutorial, so I will see you guys. Sorry it was such a short broadcast, but I'm working on it, and hopefully I should have it out pretty soon. So in order to stop streaming, we'll hop back over here to the OBS software, and we're going to click Stop Streaming. And basically, your live broadcast ends. I mean, that's pretty much it then. So we've looked at how to do an instant live stream, so let's take a look at how to schedule an event. So in order to schedule an event, we're going to go into our dashboard again, and we are going to go to Events, and then we're going to click Schedule a New Event, and then this is where you're going to put in all your information, what day it is that you're going to stream, what time it is you're going to stream, put any tags, any related description in there. In your advanced settings, I would definitely suggest that you click on the button down here that shows, or click on the date to show what date you're going to record. And if you put the date in that you're actually recording the live stream, then it will put it properly in your video feed or in your videos, and it will show what day you recorded it. If you leave it on, if you leave this blank, it will do it the day that you scheduled the event. So you might have 2 or 3 videos that show up after that video does when it was recorded before them, if that makes sense. So it's one of those things. But so that is pretty much all there is to that. The only other thing about this event, and I'm going to go back here to basic info. I'm going to make this thing private so that it doesn't send a notification out. So I'm going to go ahead and put in here, OBS tutorial. And I just want to show you guys how this thing works. So I'm going to create that event. And then what's going to happen is whenever you come back to that page on the day that you want to do your streaming, this is where the ingestion comes in as far as what the bit rates are. So it's going to give you that same menu that we looked at on the web page of YouTube, and you're going to tell it what you're going to stream that day. So this is going to tell the YouTube server what I'm going to be putting out. So I'm going to select that for the 3,000 to 6,000. I'm going to put it at 5,000. Now the interesting thing for this is that you don't want to share the stream name with anybody, because if you do, again, they can broadcast anytime. But the stream name here is actually going to be your key. So the stream name down here, you'll want to copy that and paste it, and don't share it with anybody. And you'll want to go back to your OBS software, and you'll go to your settings over here, and you will click on the settings. And then when you get in there, you'll go to your stream, and you're going to paste that information into the stream key. So Control V. Now if I stream, it will actually go to that particular window. And the nice thing about when you stream there, and you click on the live control room, this will actually allow you to start setting up setting up your stream and preview it and make sure that everything looks correct. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what that looks like. So we're going to go ahead and hit start streaming, and we're going to go back over to our YouTube channel page, and it's telling us that he's not receiving anything from the encoder currently. Okay, so there we go. So now we started receiving some information. So it's telling you that everything is good, and with the chat window, you will have to do that again. You'll have to pop that out, copy your URL there, redo it just like you did previously. Now, so I want to preview this stream, so I'm going to go ahead and hit preview, and it's going to tell you that it's going to take a few seconds to start processing your stream. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and it's going to prepare the live stream for us. And then here in just a second, you will see that I'm going to go ahead and click that, and let's see here. Let's do it again. So go ahead and click the preview button here, and there we are. So there is a little bit of a delay to it, so understand that. And one of the things you can do is when you have this box checked where it syncs to this, oh, see, there we are. Now I'm hearing a little bit of an echo in there, and that is because the microphone from the Logitech is actually going at the same time. So I'll turn that off, and that was creating a weird feedback. But you'll see that
here, and there we are. So
you'll see that it'll go away here in just a second.
So microphone from the Logitech is actually going at the same time. So I'll turn that off.
And there you go. It stops making that funny noise. So we were having two microphones going at the same time with a little bit of a delay in between there. So that is a tip to remember. If you're using a headset like this, you'll want to turn off the Logitech or the web camera. Okay, so now once you've got everything set up in your live event stream, you've got your software running, you're streaming, you have got your live page up, you're previewing your stream, everything looks great, and you want to start streaming. So what you do is you just simply click on the Start Streaming button, and it will send you live. Now you can, if you want to watch on the actual watch page itself, you can click on this View on Watch Page tab, or you can actually, I right click on it and open it up in a new window so that we can actually see what's going on and jump back and forth. And there you are live. And since this is a private event, nobody's going to jump in the chat with us, but there it is, and you can continue from there and enjoy your live stream. That pretty much about wraps it up. You know, definitely feel free to leave any comments in the description below. Ask me questions. If there's something that I didn't clarify exactly, let me know that. And, you know, until the next video, this has been Brian for Short Circuited Brewers. Hope to see you on a live stream soon, and hope to visit your live stream now that we've showed you how to set up your software. We'll see you.